Hey, and welcome in this video around Azure Information Protection around the administrative side. So in this video, we're really going to talk about the administration side of Azure Information Protection and pretty much how to get started. In some other videos, we will discuss more into detail how to add tags and protection, but this first video in the admin series is really on how do you actually get started. So what we're going to do is really go to our Azure portal. So we're going to completely work out of our Azure environment. So I go to manage.windowsazure.com and it will ask me to log on. So I'm going to log in with my administrator. And the first thing we're going to do is make sure that we activate Azure Information Protection. The way to do that is using the marketplace. So I will go into the marketplace and under security and identity, you will find Azure Information Protection, but you can also just search for it, Azure Information Protection, select this, and then create. Make sure that you have the licenses in place to be able to do that. I've already executed this part, so I already have my Azure Information Protection available. And I've also pinned it to the dashboard, so I have a quick link directly into the Azure Information Protection. So first thing what we're going to do is look at the quick start. So to make Azure Information Protection work on the client side, and I have a video for that as well, you need to install the client. And if you want a client, you can actually download it here. If you deploy the client on the different devices, in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, everything that is Office related, will be able to use the Azure Information Protection. The second thing we're going to look for is the global policies. The global policy is the Azure Information Protection policy that applies to every single user. So we're going to go through and look what the different settings are and pretty much what you can define for every single user. So of course, it has a policy name. It has a description. These are the labels that you can define within the global policy. You can add new labels. Just be careful when you add a label here, that label will be available for every single user. If you want to create a label that is only available for specific users, you will have to use scoped policies. And in the next video, we will cover that as well. Of course, everything has a title. You can select the default label. So even if they don't select a specific classification, what is the default label that will be assigned? And you can actually select here between all the available tags. If you don't want anything, you can select none, and then none will be selected. All documents and emails must have a label. If you activate this, a document cannot be saved or shared through without having a label. The next one is user must provide a justification to set a lower classification, remove a label, or remove protection. So if somebody defines it, for example, as high confidential and accidentally they did that and they want to go back to general, they need to provide a business justification on why they do so. Okay. Then for email messages with attachments, apply a label that matches the highest classification of those attachments. So if you have multiple attachments attached to an email, you can actually automatically assign the tag on the email if you would want that to happen or not. Display the information protection bar in Office, add do not forward button, make the custom permissions available for users. And then what you also can provide for end user education is a custom URL for the client to go to when they click the Tell Me More. So if you go into Office, you will see the Azure Information Protection client. It will have an option Tell Me More, and you can link that to an internal or an external website, giving your end users more information about Azure Information Protection. Then an important one is here, and I'm going to go into that, is the protection activation. One of the things that you can do with Azure Information Protection is put permissions directly on the document, but to do so, you need RMS activated. If it's not activated, you can actually activate the protection here. And in my case, that's already done, but make sure that you do that. Otherwise, you won't be able to add permissions to your policy. Okay, when we make changes to our policy, and in this case, we're going back to our global policy. Let's just do that. We're going to um, give this better description, default policy. Select all users. And of course, let's do the same here. I need to save this. And now it's very important, and you will get that notification from the Azure portal as well. When you make changes to any type of policy, you need to publish the policy. If you do not publish the policy, the changes will not be reflected towards the end user. So in this case, I'm going to do this, and now the publish is successfully. So now my end users will see the updates for that specific policy. And that's how you get started with Azure Information Protection. Very easy, very quick. I would say give it a try, and if there are any issues, feel free to reach out to me through Twitter on my blog, and the information is in the description of the video and on the begin page of the video as well.